What's up, everybody? My name is Jason, and welcome to the $10,000 EIDL Grant Stimulus Update. SBA delayed. It is Monday, January the 18th. Happy Martin Luther King Jr. Day 2021. Please do me each favor. Give this video a thumbs up, hashtag EIDL with your comments below. Copy and paste the exact title of this video and share it all over social media. And if you'd like to be one of 20 people that are going to win $500 in cold hard cash within the next few weeks, I ask that you please subscribe to this channel right now and make sure you hit the bell. All right, ladies and gentlemen, the obvious question is, what are you doing in your truck, Jason? I thought Truck Talk was gone as of last summer. Well, it was. I think I have done maybe one in the last 4 or 5 months, but there's a guy right outside my office window at the house running a circular saw. So I kept trying to do this video, and they ring, 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 and I'm like, all right. I'm going to go down to one of the local malls. I got a spot where the sun's not too bright in my face. And by the way, I feel much better today. Hopefully I'll look a little better than I sounded yesterday. Look, folks, I have taken on the responsibility of 57,000 small business owners, sole props, and independent contractors in this country who deserve $10,000 or the balance thereof, the removal of the caps, and the forgiveness in total of the loan. And the last 10 months have really gotten to me. I got a lot going on in my life, as you do. I am trying like hell to get you this money. I think it's going to happen this week, by the way. So I went off on a bender Friday and Saturday, and I'm too old for that shit. So I appreciate the concern. Some of you, especially the ladies, said, hey, you know, you're looking a little rough under the collar. We don't want to lose you to the big one. So I've drank a lot of water. By the way, I'm on to new water. Anybody ever had this? Anybody ever had this? I noticed the other day when I had my Keurig that there was a huge amount of bicarbonate sediment inside from that Evian water. And one of you told me you got to be careful with that stuff. It'll mess up your stomach. I love the taste of Evian, but this is even better. So if anyone's had Core, let me know, especially if it's cold. It's unbelievably smooth. All right, by the way, Dallas Cowboys hire Dan Quinn, former head coach right up the road of the Atlanta Falcons. Look, this is a player's coach. He's a nice guy, but he also holds the record of some of the most epic crumbles, including the Super Bowl a few years ago. So I hope he's a better defensive coordinator than he was a head coach. So let me know what you think, Cowboy Nation. What's going on? All right, ladies and gentlemen, if you have not watched yesterday's video, you must. I know I looked a little rough in it. There was a reason for that. I blew off some steam. I went too hard. But watch the video and understand the fact that the two pinned comments that I have from Vitaly's videos are not just to promote a guy that I think is super smart, because he is. But he literally sets the old CARES Act from last March side by side in a screen share. And he shows you the language that's taken out and what it is replaced with. And in simple terms, they take out the may receive up to $10,000 within 72 hours, which gave the SBA plenty of wiggle room to actually win in the court of law. But this time it's replaced with shall receive 10 grand, or shall receive the maximum of 10 grand minus the amount already granted, AKA the balance thereof. So if you go to SBA.gov right now, and you click on the EIDL loan link, there's a pop-up. It says, please note this is for EIDL loan application purposes. If you're looking for the new targeted EIDL advance, click this link. Well, there's nothing there as of yet. My prediction, Wednesday. Why am I saying Wednesday? I don't know why Wednesday. I just feel Wednesday. So in the comments, I want everybody to make a prediction. When are we going to get the email? I say Wednesday. And when is the portal likely to open at the earliest? I say Wednesday, maybe later. But let me know what you think. So in simple terms, Section 331 is the targeted EIDL advance. That's $20 billion for low-income communities. You must have less than 300 employees, and you must be able to show a 30% economic loss or greater. Right below that is Section 332. It's called the Emergency EIDL Grant. That's the exact section of the prior CARES Act back in March of last year that appropriated $20 billion for small business owners, and that pile of money, of course, ran out in the middle of July. In Section 332, which applies to everyone in the queue that is of middle and high income, at least 2/3 of you, it clearly says It strikes $20 billion from last year. It replaces it with $40 billion. So I, like Vitaly and maybe one or two others out there, think that's actually $60 billion of EIDL grant money that's going to go live this week. Most of you, as per Section 332, will just get an email. And I think if you already got a loan, because it says in the bill, preference goes to those that got a loan and or a grant first, followed by those who didn't get a grant because they ran out of money, i.e. you're owed $10,000, followed by anybody that's new. But if you just do the math, 9 million applied to EIDL, according to James Rivera at the SBA. 5.7 million got a grant. The average size grant was around 3,600, call it $4,000. So around 6 million people are due an average of $6,000. So if I'm right in Section 332, there's more than enough money because it's $40 billion. However, when you take it in its entirety, 331 for low income is $20 billion. 332 for middle to high income is $40 billion. You have to believe that of those 5.7 million people that got a grant, probably close to 1.5 to 1.75 million are low income. So in its entirety, $60 billion is more than enough money to get everybody who's in the queue, whether you're low, middle, or high, $10,000 or the balance thereof. And I stand by my prediction that the only portal going live at SBA.gov this coming week is for the targeted EIDL Advance, aka grant, for low-income communities, and it will apply in most cases to anyone new. And the reason why, as I said yesterday, boy, I'm on a roll. The reason why I said yesterday, I didn't even have my Wheaties today. I had a half a cup of coffee, mostly water. See what you can do when you get off the booze and you get onto some water. By the way, I'm a little thirsty. Most of the EIDL, targeted EIDL Advance at SBA.gov in this coming week will apply to low income. And as I said yesterday, the reason why they're wanting folks in West Virginia or Mississippi or any of the lower income cities to send in some form of verification on the size of your company and whether or not you had an economic loss of 30% or greater is because it's life-changing money. I grew up in Antwerp, New York, minutes from Fort Drum. My father was a welder. He never made more than $27,000 a year. I'm the oldest of 5 kids. If it wasn't for my grandfather, rest his soul, who was right down the street, he owned a gas station and a junkyard. And he used to come every Friday, and or Saturday, and he was such a generous man, and he would slip my mother a $100 bill because he was just loaded in a small town. And if it wasn't for those occasional $100 bills, and don't ask me why, it was always a $100 bill. So my mother would go down to the local store and she'd get bread and milk and cereal. And they'd look at her like, where are you getting all these $100 bills? It was Grandpa, rest his soul. If it wasn't for him, we wouldn't have survived with that many kids and such a low income because my mom didn't work. So when I talk about low income, it's with the utmost respect. For folks that are in low income, making 30 grand a year on a side hustle, 10,000 is a big deal. The federal government can't justify sending $600 to everyone else and giving an Uber driver or a side hustler $10,000 unless they can prove they're real. They've got a 30% or more economic loss by way of their bank statements, and you have less than 300 employees. And might I remind everybody, regardless of whether you're low, middle, or high, the SBA, as per this law, has access to your tax records going back years. They have access to your credit score at Experian. In Section 332, there's $20 million for verification tools. In other words, if you're full of shit and you're acting in a way that you shouldn't, you're going to get caught. Now, I don't think they're going to come and lock everybody up that does so, but depending on how egregious the offense, they might. They may send some nasty letters and or fines. I don't know what they're going to do. But my advice to you is do not lie to the SBA this time. You're going to get caught. You're going to get busted. It's not going to be a pretty picture. So until next time, I really don't have any much more to say other than I love you guys. Special shout out to our men and women of color. We love you. We appreciate you. Martin Luther King Jr. was one of my heroes. I think he gave the greatest speech of all time. I have a dream. I can't watch it without turning into a big puddle of tears. In fact, I would encourage everyone of my race today, if you've lost touch with some of your old friends of color, just reach out. Just say, hey, I happen to be thinking about you today. the pandemic, things are normally rocking in Atlanta on this day. It's much more limited. So reach out by phone, by text, by email. Do something to let those who are a different skin color, let them know how much you care. So until next time, ladies and gentlemen, always remember, I love you, and thanks for watching.